Alright, let's dive into this week's soap opera drama, but trust me, I'm not just reading off a schedule here. I'm about to take you on a ride through the twists and turns of these storylines, because honestly, these shows are like a masterclass in human chaos. Let's start with Beyond the Gates. Personally, I think what makes this show fascinating is how it juggles so many characters and their interconnected lives. On Monday, Hayley's travel plans get derailed, classic soap opera move, right? But what's really interesting is how this sets off a chain reaction. Caroline rushing to Bill's rescue. That's not just a favor, it's a power play. And Dani's slip of the tongue. That's the kind of mistake that could unravel everything. What many people don't realize is that these small moments often foreshadow bigger conflicts. By Friday, Andre is lured to a mysterious rendezvous. I mean, who does that? It's like the writers are saying, let's see how far we can push these characters before they break. Now, let's talk about the bold and the beautiful. This show is all about glamour and drama, but what's really striking this week is how it balances personal and professional storylines. Ridge, Brooke, and Steffy working on international relations. That's a bold move, pun intended. But what makes this really interesting is how it contrasts with the personal struggles. Finn convincing Sheila to stay away, that's a red flag if I've ever seen one. Sheila is like the soap opera equivalent of a ticking time bomb. And by Friday, Steffy is overcome with emotions. I'm willing to bet it's tied to Sheila's presence. What this really suggests is that no matter how much these characters try to focus on their careers, their personal lives always come crashing in. Moving on to Days of Our Lives, this show is a roller coaster of emotions. Stephanie making a heartbreaking decision on Monday. That's the kind of thing that sets the tone for the entire week. But what's fascinating is how the show weaves together so many different storylines. Theo hiding the truth about Lexie from Abe. That's a classic soap opera secret, but it's the kind of thing that could destroy relationships. And by Friday, Theo and Chad make a devastating discovery. I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say it's the kind of reveal that changes everything. If you take a step back and think about it, this show is all about the consequences of keeping secrets. It's like a cautionary tale wrapped in drama. Now, General Hospital, this show is intense. Jason trying to reason with Drew on Monday. That's a conflict I've been waiting for. But what's really interesting is how the show explores the fallout of these confrontations. By Thursday, Willow is threatened, and Anna sets a trap. This raises a deeper question: how far are these characters willing to go to protect what they care about? And by Friday, Jason opens up to Carly. That's a big deal because Jason is not exactly the most open person. What this really suggests is that even the toughest characters have their breaking points. From my perspective, this show is all about the emotional weight of its characters. Finally, The Young and the Restless, this show is all about family drama, and this week is no exception. Nick's loved ones forcing him to face his demons on Monday. That's heavy stuff. But what makes this really interesting is how the show explores the impact of these personal struggles on the family dynamic. By Friday, Billy comes between Kane and Lily. I mean, is anyone surprised? Billy is like the human embodiment of chaos. One thing that immediately stands out is how this show doesn't shy away from the messiness of relationships. It's like a mirror held up to real life, but with way more drama. So, what's the takeaway here? Soap operas are more than just guilty pleasures. They're a reflection of human nature, amplified to the extreme. Personally, I think what makes them so compelling is how they explore the complexities of relationships, power, and emotions. They're not just stories, they're lessons in what happens when people are pushed to their limits. And honestly, who isn't fascinated by that? So, which storyline are you most excited about? Let me know in the comments, and let's keep the drama alive.